Few things is not a violation.
That's right. It's a chap. Yes, you ever see the book? Did you ever see the book?
Oh, no.
It'd take you a couple years to read it.
I was only head coach in college 2 years. I didn't read it.
We need more rules, more laws. You know what I mean? We don't have enough.
Lawyers have to make a living, you know.
Well, I guess you're right, man. I mean, they just need a bigger, you got to play with a bigger rule book. It's unbelievable, isn't it, folks? Well, coming up at the Prudential half, John Saunders with scores, highlights, and John's going to have a conversation with Notre Dame head coach Lou Holtz. Lou with a big one next week against Florida State. Irish have struggled a bit this year. The Trojans need 3 yards on this third down, and they've got it in some in the hands of Johnson.
Boy, I tell you, Rob Johnson did an awfully nice job on that one, Brent, because they stunted the outside linebacker back inside, see? And he came right in the quarterback's face, and he fired that nice slant pattern. No wonder he was a Heisman candidate. To the left side of your screen, you'll see the blitz come. Freeze it right there. See him coming right down the face here. He sees him, too. He ignores him and throws the strike. Well done. Good poise by Rob Johnson.
Well, the change-up in the look of the running situation has altered things now for the Trojans, and Johnson turns back and throws incomplete, and number 88, Edward Hervey, is getting himself quite an indoctrination here today.
Well, you know, he's a junior college transfer, Brent, Pasadena Junior College. He came in the fall of '93. He's second in the junior college state 200-meter run, so this guy can fly. If you're going to throw the ball, you might as well throw it to a guy that can run.
The last time the Cougars, Dick, made it to Pasadena was 1931.
You did the game.
That's right. Second down and 10. And Johnson, quick firing strike over there to that side. Oh, midfield.
Wow.
Ron Rushing was the free safety who closed in, with Ron Childs hitting Hervey first.
Baselli doing a nice job over there pass protecting. He's the best technique pass protector I've seen all year. Left side of your screen, number 71, has an awfully nice kick step with his left foot there. See him get it out there, jams properly with his hands, works his feet, and he's pass protecting the number 1 pass rusher in the conference right now. Nice job, Tony Baselli.
Now the posse will try to dig in and stop another first down on third down. Johnson, quick, got it. Johnson, well, he goes now in a foot race for the end zone. Johnson scores. There's a penalty flag down. Hold on, this one could be coming back. There's a penalty flag, and holding is the call.
Look at John. John says, you know, I knew there'd be days like this.
In a way that evens things up, because the Trojans scored a touchdown down here after the Cougars, remember the turnover that was taken away from the Cougs.
Repeat third down.
So the breaks have now kind of like evened up. This brings the touchdown back, so we'll play on.
They have a blitz coming at the top of your screen. Number 83, Tyler Cashman. He's a tight end, not normally involved in drop back pass protection, and he pulls him down from the outside, takes away from a real nice individual move by Keshawn Johnson. Look at Johnson, he's upset. Gosh, if they keep giving you that kind of coverage, you're going to get another one of those, young man.
3rd and 21. They run the delay. That was Rodney Sermons who came firing out of there close to midfield. A great call in that situation. The Trojans don't get a first down.
A lot of jawing going on back and forth between these two teams. The Cougars have 50 kids from California on their roster. A lot of them played in all-star games and against each other in conferences. Some of them on the same high school teams. SC has 2 guys from Washington. They don't need help from up here.
Stonehouse punting to Dumas again. Coming up the middle, they got a piece of it. The punt is blocked partially, and then it takes a USC spin inside the 40-yard line.
It was a very wobbly snap, Brent. You know, it got back there very slow. You ask your center to get the ball back there in 0.8 of a second. That was about 1.8 of a second. It was a lame duck. You'll see what I mean here. The ball will come back to the punter, but it's not really firing back there nicely. Pressure right up inside. Good snap. That ball would have been gotten off, though that man should not be that clean up in the middle like that.
Yeah, that man was number 52, Robert Booth, who came clean up the middle and got a piece of it. Now it's 1st and 10 for Chad Davis and the Cougars here. Late going second fumble, recovered by the Cougars, and they'll lose 5 yards on that.
Both teams are making enough mistakes to lose the game. You know? They're balancing them out, though, as you said. That's one of the disadvantages of the shotgun. One more chance for a mistake.
Well, I looked at our scoreboard there, and that game's still in progress because both teams are in white, and when it's a final score, the winner will come up in yellow for you. Second down now, and Chad Davis fires high to incomplete over here. He's got the ball to Chad Carpenter yet, hasn't
No,
he?
you know, and he's thrown a number of balls high. I wonder if that left knee, you know, that he comes forward and gets planted is bothering him a little bit, not finishing his follow-through, because we've seen him throw 3 or 4 up over the top so far today.
Let's go to Jackaroo. Jack?
Well, Brent, Dick Vermeil is absolutely right. He still is favoring that knee. We had a chance to get a word back from the bench about him. He says it hurts a little bit, but like a tough goer that he is, he wants to stay in there. But when we look at the interception that was thrown by his backup, he ought to stay in there.
3rd and 15. Doubling at the 43 by Eddie Cunningham. Incomplete on the hit. And there's a complaint from Kenny Adams.
Holy mackerel, you can see that coming. That's the one disadvantage of catching those crossing patterns inside. Cunningham gave him lunch. Oh, man, headache time. Woo! He's excited. Look at it. He's happy about that one. Out of Gar High School, Cerritos, California.
George Martin hunting again, low snap. Gets hit off, and he got a beauty off, considering the circumstances. And now Grace dancing down inside the 20-yard line.
Boy, I'll tell you, that punt coverage, I haven't seen a punt coverage team sprint like those 5 guys sprinted in a long time. These kids really know how to play the football game. Everything they do balls out.
Second quarter. Figured to be a low-scoring game, didn't it? And it is. 7-3. And here's Johnson. Leonard Green offset again. They were able to use him once. Gets good time. Now over to the left. Couldn't find a receiver open. And number 29, Mr. Fields, in pursuit.
He wanted to run a little stop and go to Larry Parker to the wide side of the field. But good coverage again by Torrey Hunter. They're picking on the wrong guy when you want to beat him deep or run some kind of a double move on him. He is a very fine cover guy, and the NFL people up here scouting him think the same thing. He's probably going to play on Sunday for a long time.
Second down and 10. They run Sermons, and Sermons is to the 22-yard line. And there's a host of the Cougars. Fields, Childs, and buddies are there.
Those 2 defensive tackles are doing a great job, and it allows Mark Fields, number 29, the inside linebacker, to really get after the ball carrier. The kid, here he is right in the middle, but these 2 tackles do a real good job, and that frees up Fields. Now watch him attack the football. He's just moving forward, moving. Bang, there he gets over and gets in on the play.
And State calls a timeout.
See, you can't play this 4-3 defense without the 2 big tackles inside. And fortunately for Washington State, they have the 2 big tackles inside.
Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, you know, Mike Price is known around here as a player's coach. You know, he likes to motivate the players, and pretty unique and unusual ways. Listen to what he did a couple of years ago as the Washington State Cougars got ready for their contest against the USC Trojans. He went out on campus and he enlisted an undergraduate, and he paid him a little money, and he said, look, I want you to dress up as Tommy Trojan. Find me a brown horse. He brought the horse and Tommy Trojan out on the walkthrough day before the game, and as it rode around the stadium here, Mike Price pulled out a starter's pistol, shot at Tommy Trojan. Trojan fell off the horse. Unfortunately, the next day, they didn't win.
You know something, Jack? When I was coaching at UCLA, I thought about hiring somebody to do the same thing on game day.
Rattler. Sermons, the running back. Sermons down at the 23-yard line, and Fields is there again, number 29.
He came into the ball game making 64 tackles, ranked 5th in the Pac-10 in sacks. And as good as his defensive team is, #1 in the country, they do not have one tackler ranked in the 25 best tacklers in terms of number of tackles in the Pac-10. Everybody makes plays on that defensive front.
It has been a defensive-dominated football game. John Robinson's Trojans, with the only touchdown, came after an interception against Washington State's backup quarterback. Chad Davis was receiving some medical attention for an injured knee. Davis playing, but obviously still bothered by the knee. And USC uses its last timeout at 1:28. Cougars keeping the pressure on this punting game. They would like to have one last fling at it here. With 1:28, the Cougars will have a timeout remaining. Dumas, the wide receiver, is back deep.
You know, with the long snap problem that SC had this last time, I think it'd be a good idea, you know, from a coaching standpoint, to go ahead and come after it again.
What do you think about the Irish Seminoles next week?
Well, first off, Florida State's a better football team, but you never go against Notre Dame and Lou Holtz when he's had a couple weeks of preparation. He's had a bye. You've said that many times yourself, Brent.
What about Penn State down to Champaign to take on Illinois?
I can't picture anybody being able to beat Penn State. I really know. I've seen them. I've evaluated their talent and presented the game. They're awfully good. Illinois defense, outstanding, but I don't know if the total package is there to compete for 4 quarters.
So here we go now. Stonehouse and Dumas.
Good snap.
And the Cougars set a return for Dumas, and he can't slip. He's down at the 32-yard line. Jesse Davis. Well, the covering, and there's the Bowl Coalition top 25, Nebraska and Penn State, and that argument figures to continue right on through the New Year's, the way things are set up in that situation. Washington State ranked 15th. This is the first time in 36 years that the Cougars have been favored against the Trojans. They came in here favored by a point.
They go empty here.
Set that screen, and they hit Thomas. Thomas busts across midfield with 1:10 and a timeout remaining.
See, that kind of screen is excellent against that prevent zone that they were in that time. They were in a 2-deep zone, rushing 4, covering 5 underneath, 2 deep. Linebackers backed out of there. That allows the receiver to catch the ball cleanly and the offensive lineman to get down and get their blocks.
Davis and the Cougars in a hurry up. High and incomplete, and there again the injured ankle, as Dick was explaining to you, unable to push off Carpenter, the intended receiver, and the clock stops on the incompletion, and now it'll be 2nd and 10.
This style of offense is really prepared all year round for the 2-minute offense, because they're in a spread all the time. They love to throw the ball, but their run-pass ratio is actually 60-40 run, but they would just as soon throw the football when you get right down to it, and they're well prepared and schooled to run a 2-minute offense.
They said that was an injured knee that Davis is playing with. It goes deep and caught at the 16-yard line.
Pushed off, too,
Great
Brett.
play by Dumas.
He pushed off, too. He took his left hand and pushed Herpin.
The defender might have taken him out of bounds here. Watch and see if that isn't the call in this situation. That's John Herpin working on Carpenter.
It really doesn't matter in college football. The only thing that counts is the ball. That's incomplete.
Yeah, and it was overruled. They're changing
good
that
job.
one and bringing it back.
Yeah,
That's a good correction on that play.
Yes. Plus, they could have called offensive interference on that one because he definitely took his left hand and shoved with top of your screen right there. He shoved just prior to that. Different than in pro football. If you hit a guy and knock him down, and it's ruled that he would have caught it in bounds, it counts, not in college.
That official was watching the feet, and the other officials who happened to catch the ball as Davis comes back high. Great grab by the tight end at the 42-yard line. Eric Moore snaps it down, his first reception. 40 seconds, and the clock is moving right now.
One of his receivers have got to go to him and say, listen, Jack, you're getting the ball high all the time. Bring it down.
He'll throw underneath. He comes right back to Eric.
He's going to have to take the ball and just down it. Can't on that. Now it's fourth down. That was the fourth down. Excuse me, I lost one there, Brent.
Coach not happy with that last sequence. Been a frustrating half, but isn't it always for Washington State when they play the Trojans? That's been the history of this rivalry. Nothing new there. And Johnson takes a whack from Dwayne Sanders and throws the ball out of bounds. And Johnson a little slow in getting up now.
That hurt.
One thing, as far as USC's quarterback situation is concerned, they have one of the better backups along the West Coast in Brad Otten.
92 Dwayne Sanders gets underneath here and outside, underneath the tight end, outside the tackle, and gives him lunch right there. That should never happen.
19 seconds. And the Trojans content to run the ball with Rodney Sermons, the freshman. And that's it. They won't even snap it again. USC will take its lead on into the locker room, and there's an injured Washington State player. Dwayne Sanders is limping at midfield. Coach Price looking back toward him, and they're going to need medical attention. Sanders injured on that last play. So John Saunders will be coming your way with the Prudential halftime report right here next on ABC.
College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road, and UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on. Stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Fooled you. Now see if you're any better at guessing which is the real thing and which is Hitachi Ultravision. Too tough to call? That's because of Ultravision's ultra clear, ultra sharp, and ultra bright picture.
Hit it! Okay! Ultra clear! Ultra sharp! Ultra bright! Ultra vision!
Maybe she wants my autograph.
Maybe!
Yeah, Ultravision. Only from Hitachi.
All over the world, when people are late, you're guaranteed to hear excuses.
The alarm clock broke.
Mein Goldfisch ist gestorben.
Probleme de cheveux?
At UPS, however, we guarantee we'll be on time. In fact, we guarantee on-time delivery to hundreds of cities around the world, or your money back. So while you might hear, you'll never hear it from us.
People tell us we beat up our trucks more in our commercials than they'd ever dream of. Well, They should be on one of our assembly lines when we snatch a truck at random and literally rip it limb from limb to test every body weld in a Chevy truck, all 1,437 of them. But for those of you who think there's too much violence on TV, these next few seconds are for you. Time's up.
Monday, the Dallas Cowboys host the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. Then, get ready.
Am I being seduced?
Because Coach is on the way.
All right!
With back-to-back episodes. First, an all-new Coach. Hayden gets a sexy new agent. Will she give him a hot new image?
No polyester, no white socks, loosen the tie, lose the laugh.
No, I like your laugh.
Then it's another hilarious Coach. Twice as long, twice as funny.
Feel another giggle coming up.
Back-to-back Coach, Monday on ABC.
This program on KABC TV is brought to you by Lincoln Mark 8.
There's no question the Lincoln Mark 8 is an extremely well-equipped luxury coupe. But since it is possible to equip other luxury coupes with many of the same amenities, you might be asking yourself, what's the difference? The difference is, with the Lincoln Mark 8, you'll feel exhilarated, not spent. Lincoln Mark 8. Drive everything else first.
Who can you trust, Feinstein or Huffington? Congressman Huffington admits he broke federal immigration law. Dianne Feinstein broke no federal immigration laws. Congressman Huffington stiffed California for nearly $7 million in corporate taxes. And Huffington avoided paying millions in California income taxes by claiming a Texas residence. Huffington still won't release his tax returns. But you know Dianne Feinstein pays her taxes because she released 17 years of tax returns. Congressman Huffington, the Texas oil millionaire Californians just can't trust.
The Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by The Prudential. Peace of mind, it comes with every piece of the rock. From our New York studios, your host, John Saunders.
USC leading Washington State 7-3 at halftime. The winner of this game still very much in the hunt for the Rose Bowl picture. The second half is straight ahead. Let's check elsewhere with scores and highlights. Beginning with Nebraska. They're the #1 team in the nation. You notice Nebraska is in gold. The gold scoring team is the winning team the rest of the way. Brooke Behringer, 51 yards here to Reggie Ball. He was 10 of 14 for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns, as Nebraska has yet to lose this year. And Lawrence Phillips, 21 carries, 153 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Auburn has yet to lose as well, knocking off East Carolina 38-21. Patrick Nix, 15 of 23, 261 yards and 2 touchdowns to Frank Sanders. Syracuse and Miami, this one a battle of field goals. Frank Costa struggling early on here. The ball gets batted around, and Dan Conley, who had his 10th knee operation within the last couple of weeks and is back in the game, comes up with the interception. Kevin Mason hit by Warren Sapp. This forces a fumble. And then no offense in the game because Syracuse leading it just on the 2 Orlando Marr field goals. Oklahoma State and Colorado. Cordell Stewart with a good game. Scrambling 28 yards for a touchdown here as Colorado would take a 7-3 lead. Bill McCartney's team bouncing back from the loss last week to Nebraska, and Cordell Stewart just a 1-yard touchdown pass here to Phil Savoy makes it 14-3. Rashawn Salam, 29 carries and 174 yards in that game. Utah has yet to lose. 21-11. They lead New Mexico at halftime. Mike McCoy having another good day. 56 yards to Kevin Dyson as he lobs this one in perfectly. Hits him on stride. 7-0 the lead at that point. And Charlie Brown has 2 touchdown runs as well. Texas A&M and Texas. Remember, this one used to be so big, but not this year. Texas A&M cannot go to the Cotton Bowl, and Texas is struggling 34-10. They get blown up. Brandon Mitchell had a 48-yard fumble return for a touchdown. USC and Washington State is the game you are watching, and we'll get to the second half in a moment. Kansas State leading Iowa State 38-15. Chad May has 4 touchdown passes in that game. Clemson against North Carolina. They win it 28-17. North Carolina held to 11 yards rushing and 3 turnovers. Arizona State and Oregon. In the hunt for the championship in the Pac-10 are the Ducks and Ricky Whittle, keeping them there with this 67-yard touchdown run. The burst of speed into the open field, and forget about it. 7-0 is the lead at that point. That's the only scoring in the game as he just tumbles across Right now, Oregon has added a field goal, 10-0. Mississippi State over Arkansas, 17-7. Kevin Bowie, 22 carries, 142 yards. Northeast Louisiana against BYU, 24-10 is the final there. John Walsh had 3 touchdown passes. Wisconsin against the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes trying to avoid what happened to Michigan this year, losing to Wisconsin, and they lead it at halftime 10-3. Bobby Hoying has a 78-yard touchdown pass to Chris Sanders. Rice against SMU. Rice scored the first 17 points of the game, and then they had to hold off a 1-yard play down to the final yard and the final seconds of the game. SMU could have tied it, but they did not. Elsewhere, Air Force over Army, 10-6 is that final. Preston McConnell had a 10-yard touchdown run as Air Force wins the Commander-in-Chief Trophy once again. Tarleton State against Prairie View. Prairie View trying to avoid a 44-game losing streak and tying Columbia. It looks like they will not do that. Alabama State had a 24-10 lead over Grambling and Eddie Robinson. Teams come back with 2 touchdowns to tie this game right now, as they have not lost this year. And Butler against Alabama Birmingham. The story there, Arnold Mickens, 41 carries, 142 yards, the 3rd highest single-season rushing total in the history of Division I college football. We'll continue with more in just a moment. First, to listen to the Washington State Band. Next week here on ABC, Lou Holtz and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame will take on Florida State. We'll talk with Lou when we return.
Financial concerns, medical problems, anxiety about the future, the loss of a loved one, the pressures we all face, the emotions we all experience. 50 million Americans, 1 out of every 5 of us, have found they can cope better, feel more secure, actually improve their lives by turning for help to one particular company. A company whose sole purpose has always been to provide its customers with products and services that bring them to a different state of mind. Peace of mind, security, protection, preparation, optimism, peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
I just got hit by a baseball, that's all. I was playing with matches.
This is Roger Twabble reporting from Maui. After 2 rounds of the Lincoln Mercury Kapalua International, Tom Lehman with a 2-shot lead over defending champ Fred Couples, and Bob Gilder, a former winner here, also 2 shots back. Our coverage on ABC Sports coming up next from Maui.
Welcome back once again to New York and the Prudential Halftime Report. I'm John Saunders. Let's get to the scores and highlights, beginning with Penn State. Are they number 1? Are they number 2? Depends on who you believe. Coaches think they're number 1, and Indiana might now as well. Kerry Collins goes 8 yards early here to Kyle Brady, makes it a 7-0 lead, and Joe Paterno saying, if we can hold on for the victory, I could go undefeated this year. Kajana Carter, 80 yards on the touchdown run. He had 20 carries for 192 yards, almost 10 yards a carry. He's got to be the front runner right now for the Heisman Trophy. 35-14. They win at 35-29. Kerry Collins with a good day. 2 touchdowns passing as well. And Penn State coach Joe Paterno says he wants a playoff system with a chance he could go undefeated and not win the national title.
And I may obviously be affected by the fact that there are only, I think, 6 or 7 undefeated, untied football teams at the end of the bowl season that have not been selected as national champions, and 3 of those were Penn State teams.
Here's a look at what he's talking about. 1973, 69, and 68. Joe Paterno ran the carpet, got the victories, never lost a game, but did not win the national championship. Moving along with more scores and highlights. Southern Miss, no match for Florida, 55-17. Eric Kresser is now ahead of Terry Dean on the quarterback chart. He got a lot of work today. 6 yards to Sorolla Palmer, 55-10 at that point. Terry Dean threw one pass. That was intercepted. Danny Werfel was 9 of 13 for 148 yards, a couple of touchdowns, one on the ground as well. And Eric Kresser, 14 of 21 for 309 yards. Terry Dean, Heisman candidate, now third string. Florida State all over Georgia Tech. Bobby Bowden's team has never lost in the ACC. Backup quarterback Graham Stroman just came in for one possession, gets sacked by Derek Brooks. The fumble's recovered by Andre Wadsworth, and it sets up a touchdown. Danny Cannell, 8 yards to Melvin Pearsall. 14-3 at that point. They hold on 41-10 for the blowout. Warwick Dunn, 13 carries, 174 yards. Florida State faces Notre Dame next week. Now, last year, Notre Dame won the game, but Florida State won the national championship. Earlier today, I spoke with Irish coach Lou Holtz and asked if he felt he could prove something this week.
No, I don't think that anything this year has anything to do with last year. We played them last year. If there's ever any revenge, I think it'd be on the part of Florida State because we beat them last year. We just know Florida State's an awful fine football team, and we want to play well and would like to win.
Lou, talk about your struggles this year with the 3 losses. A lot of people surprised. Part of it is because you are the Irish. Nobody ever expects you to lose, but how tough has that been on you and the kids?
I think it's very difficult because we have high expectations. I think we've spent this weekend trying to go back and examine the whole season from play selection to what we've done, where we failed, et cetera. And each of the 3 losses that we had, it fell down into a different category. You know, Michigan State, we block a field goal, they catch it, and ends up leading to a touchdown. We fumble the ball on our 19-yard line, they kick a field goal on the last play of the game. There's so many things in that ball game where it could have went our way. We just played poorly at Boston College, but give them a certain amount of credit. Against BYU, we're inside their 10-yard line 5 times, come away with no points, don't turn the football over. They kick 2 field goals, 148 and 150. I think you can look at a variety of different things, but when you play a football team, there are little things that are making the difference, and with some injuries that we've had, we just don't do the little things right on a consistent basis.
Where is your quarterback, Ron Paulus? A lot of high expectations out of the gate this year, and without question, he's going to be a great quarterback. Where would you put him on schedule right now?
I think he has really done an amazing thing, but let's get a couple things straight. Number one, he was away from football for 2 years. He came right out of high school. He came into spring practice. He couldn't do very much. He was coming off of an injury. The thing that we have to remember is that Ron Paulus, through the first 5 football games of this year, had not practiced more than 15 to 17 times since he'd been here at the University of Notre Dame, and none of them under what you'd call real game-like situations. The one advantage of this open date before Navy and advantage after Navy is even though he has a sprained ankle at the present time, he's received an awful lot of work, and he is an outstanding quarterback. I think what he has done with a little amount of work, the little knowledge he has of the offense is absolutely unbelievable. And I expect him from this point on to be an outstanding quarterback.
You're going to be in Orlando next week. A chance to see Mickey and Minnie for the kids? They get a break?
Well, we won't go see Mickey and Minnie. We will stay at Mickey and Minnie out there, but this is not a vacation. We would like very much to play well against Florida State. The one thing about Notre Dame is when things go bad, people have a tendency to make it seem like it's a lot worse than what it is, and when things go well, they have a tendency to make your players feel a lot better than what they are. There's a good chance we will start eligibility-wise 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior in the offensive line. That is what really scares me, is the fact that our players do not have an awful lot of confidence. And yet you can't talk to them about confidence. They just have to go out there and play against a team like Florida State, walk out the field and say, hey, we can play with anybody and we can beat anybody, and I think we are capable of doing that.
All right, Lou, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck next week against Florida State.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and we'll continue with more of the Prudential Halftime Report in just a moment.
Gingerbread molding, colonial columns, a stained glass window, a white picket fence. Owning your own home is still a big piece of the American dream. One of America's most innovative real estate networks can help you put the pieces together, no matter which door you want to enter, which window you want to look out of. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
You want to be a bigger and stronger athlete, you got to be a bigger and stronger person. Steroids just make you think you are. This message provided by the NCAA.
The Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the ride.
Important game in the ACC between Duke and Virginia. Fred Goldsmith, just one loss this year. Simeon Willis just came into the game, goes 69 yards to Demetrius Allen. Duke's lead is down to 3, 28-25. But Simeon Willis would struggle as well. Looking to pass, intercepted by Levance McQueen. It sealed the game for Duke and likely the inside track for the second ACC Bowl Coalition spot. Duke wins it 28-25. Spence Fisher, 1 touchdown pass and 2 on the ground. Michigan blows out Purdue 45-23. Tyrone Wheatley, 20 carries, 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. We'll continue with more in just a moment. Your second half is straight ahead.
That's an old country. That's really old. Man, is that old. Only a country this young could create a car this cool. The Chevy Camaro. 2 airbags, fuel injection, and a double wishbone suspension. Hey, you're only young once. The new Camaro. It's genuine Chevrolet.
Mr. Thompson. Hey, heard about the big savings I can get you over AT&T on your business long-distance bill?
Big savings?
Oh, sure.
Let's just check that out by calling this number here, 1-800-COMPARE.
Can I see that hacksaw?
Right after I call 1-800-COMPARE.
Wow, are those left-handed tin snips?
Can't believe the big savings claims? For the facts, call 1-800-COMPARE, and AT&T will guarantee you competitive long-distance prices.
I can fix that for you.
1-800-COMPARE, the number other long-distance companies don't want you to call. AT&T, for the life of your business.
A company most people never heard of is changing the way we fight cancer and kidney failure. By inducing the body to produce blood cells, chemotherapy and anemia patients are gaining new strength. Helping to grow blood cells helped Amgen become the world's largest independent biotech company. Where do you find companies with such pioneering spirit? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Visa salutes American Olympic champions. In 1984, the Olympics provided a platform for handicapped athletes, and Sharon Hedrick turned in a great performance in the 800 meters.
They are strong, they're powerful, and they take a great deal of pride. They go to win this thing.
Hedrick set a new world record. In continued support of amateur athletics, Visa today is proud to donate another $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team to support future Olympic hopefuls in their quest for the gold.
About 65 miles south of the nearest stoplight, and 2 miles up in the Rocky Mountain sky, you'll find skier's heaven, also known as Telluride Ski Mountain, where the skiing's perfect and the views are even better. And whether you're going to extremes or just going for a lesson, don't go without your Visa card, because at Telluride Ski Mountain, they'll let you take the plunge, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
2 teams with Rose Bowl dreams, and it's 7-3 at the half with SC leading with Dick Vermeil and Jack Root. I'm Brent Musburger. Welcome back to Pullman, Washington, everybody. You know, this could be huge for Oregon, Coach. If SC can hang on to a win here, Oregon could go to the Rose Bowl just by winning out, so it's big. But, you know, USC could really be far ahead in this game.
Well, they should be further ahead. They turned the ball over after a nice reception one time. They've had a touchdown call back. But, hey, that's all part of the game. I look for both teams offensively to do a better job, because so far neither team has played very well. They don't look like Rose Bowl teams.
Yeah, it's a little rusty looking.
Yeah, a little rusty. Yeah.
Well, here's this 57-yarder. You talked about SC turnovers.
Well, they throw the nice ball, a little out-and-up move. They get it to Grace. It gets it stripped away from him. It looks like he's going to go in to score, and they come and take it away. And that's what the Cougars do. They take the ball back. Good job. They go ahead and get a field goal out of it. Then the other way, SC throws a nice little touchdown pass to Kazan Johnson. They get a holding penalty. He throws it right here. Next, a little whirl move right there on walk. Touchdown, call back. That's been the first half. Look at this. The big thing, though, what I'm surprised is SC has really not run the ball as well as they'd like to.
But I'll tell you what the Cougars need here in the second half. Go get them. Come on. Now keep on running.
They could use him against the Red Dogs.
Yay, there you go. There you go, all the way, Coach. Well, there's your numbers now.
Well, you can see neither team running the ball very well. 22 yards, 36 yards. Passing the ball better. I look for SC to go deep a little bit more in this second half. Both team with a turnover. 7 points for Washington State, 3 here. Pretty balanced football game. Neither team playing very well offensively.
Jackaroo. Brent, let's first update you on the injury to Dwayne Sanders, the defensive end for the Washington State Cougars. He also has a sprained medial collateral ligament. He also has had it taped and is expected back. I had a chance to talk to Mike Price as he came out of the locker room, and I asked him if he was going to change anything. He said the one thing we're going to do in the second half is try and run the ball more. Also, I got a chance to talk to Rob Johnson, the quarterback. Remember, he came up a little gimpy there in the last series of plays for USC. I asked him if it was his ankle. He said, no, believe it or not, I got a Charlie horse. Walked it off. I feel fine.
Cole Ford, who's excellent as the kickoff man, deep to Hunter. This will be down to the end zone. And the Cougars will put it in play. 1st and 10. Coming out from the 20-yard line against John Robinson and the Trojans defense.
You know, I talked to John for a long time about bringing the team up here and prepared for bad weather. Fortunately, they didn't get the bad weather, but he said they really made light of it all week. He said he did not want to give his kids any excuse for playing poorly.
Hey, he said, I'm going to tell them for the game. Listen, nobody ever died playing in cold weather.
That's right.
1st and 10 now for Davis. The transfer from Oklahoma, trailing 7-3. Cougars in need of a little spark. Ledoux, the ball carrier, out to the 23-yard line on 1st down.
You know, last week against Cal, when Washington State was behind, they came out, went to the 2 tight end, 2 wide out formation, and started running their counter play, and really felt that helped change the tempo of the football game. And this is what they're coming out starting to do right here in the second half.
Well, that short drop Davis featured. They're going to keep it on the ground. Trojans thought they'd throw it too. And instead, Ledoux gets a 1st down with Sammy Knight pushing him out of bounds.
Well, our sideline reporter, Jack, said the coach said he was going to come out and run the football, and that's what he's doing. A lot of times we have coaches tell us they're going to do these things, and we get up in the game and we start telling the audience about everything the coach has told they're going to do, and the game's over, they haven't done any of it.
Now, there's something the Cougars don't need. Ledoux is limping off. The ball was spotted a yard short of the 1st down on this side.
He's their bigger back of the 2, believe it or not. Kevin Hicks is a guy that comes in and gives them a little flash. Right now, they have Derek Sparks in there.
And Sparks nice play. Get it because of Brian Williams.
He's an excellent football player. When you watch him play on game tape, you just consistently see him making difficult plays. He can penetrate, he can chase. He's also very good on pass defense. They leave him in there, upper top, right here on your screen. Comes underneath. See, he's got a stunt called. He's working. The defensive end went out. He went underneath. There he is making the play. Good defensive call by Don Lindsay.
George Martin punting, and the Trojans showed 10 across that line here early in the second half. Gets it off, and Grace makes the catch at the 37-yard line. And now it's Rob Johnson and the Trojans with Sean Walters returning as the running back.
Now, Washington State's 0 for 9 on 3rd down conversion. Now, USC hasn't done much better, but what SC should do, I think, too, is get that running game going. I know they have a game plan of bringing in Leonard Green in there and let him run at that tailback position.
They're going to throw it on 1st down. Right over the middle. Hervey is the receiver. Ooh. He takes a pop near the 45 from Hayes.
You know what he did a good job of that time? He saw contact coming, and he really covered up that football. He knew he was going to get hit, but he was going to sacrifice his body, but he wasn't going to fumble the football. Coaches are going to like you for that one, Eddie.
Edward Hervey has become the go-to guy here. They've got several good receivers. Tayshaun Johnson, Kenny Grace. There are the number of tackles. Childs with 8 and 1 sack. Walters, 1st down, crosses midfield.
Nice job of lead blocking by the fullback, Terry Barnum. To run an ISO like that, you have to have a back that'll go in and take on that linebacker. And Barnum is not that big. He's only 5'10", 180 pounds. And Brent, you and I have in the Big Ten seen some big fullbacks doing great jobs this year, but there was a little guy doing a good job. Offensive lineman limping down there. That's Chris Pollock. They can't afford to lose many more guys in that offensive line.
And we get word from the sideline that Madu, Jack, what's the latest on him?
Well, Brent, it's not good news. I'm beginning to think that maybe I'm an ambulance attendant down here on the sidelines. Madu is suffering from a very badly sprained left ankle. They're checking. He's having a great deal of difficulty walking. The trainer said they will tape it, but they're not sure if he'll return.
They're coming after him.
Johnson. Let's see where that ball's spotted. It's close to a first down.
See, that time they rushed 6, covered with 5, and Johnson knew exactly where to go with the football. Excellent quarterbacking by the quarterback.
And the Trojans moved the chains twice here in the early going in the second half. Good halftime adjustments here by assistant coach and offensive coordinator Mike Riley. And they punched that ball down inside the 40 on the Cougars. Now they come back with Walters. Makes a little counter move, and he's inside the 25-yard line. And suddenly, the Trojans are eating up large chunks of real estate against this Ballyhoo defense.
See, he started strong side, running to his right, and got good movement by the offensive line. He got the offensive line coming off this way. Freeze it right there. Now you'll see that he sees the cutback. Good vision by Walters. Good blocking backside. Very important to cut off those backside blocks or tackles.
Posse needs to regroup here. Johnson out of the backfield inside the 10-yard line. Terry Barnum.
He has been their go-to running back out of the backfield. He caught 20 balls coming into here. He caught a nice one a week ago against Cal, who coming out of the backfield. See, they rolled up and double covered the wide receiver, but they didn't pick up the back coming out of the backfield. He's under pressure. He's poised. Here comes the pressure. It doesn't bother him. Sasa pulls off right there.
First and goal. The ball at the Cougars 5, and this has been a classic drive. Walters is the tailback. Fake, and it's Hervey coming around, and Hervey smashed at the 9 by Patterson.
Didn't fool old Patterson. That's why he has 14 tackles for a loss coming into this ballgame.
He's very good on end arounds and reverses. The coaching staff told us he's got a good
Here he is right
nose
there.
for this.
Now look at it. Watch him pause right here and just sort of eyeball. Come on, go ahead, run that reverse. I'm waiting for you. You know, another guy he was waiting for was you the other day. He made a beeline for you and came over.
Couldn't wait to come over.
Yeah.
Second down and goal. Johnson will throw now. Got a slant. Johnson, touchdown, SC.
See, they brought everybody that time. Same play they scored on in the first half. One-on-one, little shake move. You got to stick the defender outside. Give him a little shake here. See, he's bump and run. Now watch him push. Give him a little stick right there. It's throws him back underneath it. Good job. Good throw.
Cole Ford. Block. And it's a free ball. And the Trojans down it right there. A week ago against Cal, Washington State blocked one and returned it for 2 points. And Sasa blocks the extra point, and that is a big block. Leaving it at 13-3. That's a 10-point difference right now.
He's also the guy that blocked the PAT against Cal that was returned for 2.
We'll be right back.
You get older. You get smarter. You get Bayer.
It relieves the inflammation of arthritis when taken regularly. Just ask your doctor. You get older, you get smarter, you get Bayer.
Hey, Remington, shave this.
Remington's created the Triple Foil, the only shaver with 3 narrow microscreens for hard-to-shave places on hard-to-shave faces. The Remington Triple Foil.
If you can grow it, we can shave it.
The man in black is back for an unsurpassed 7th time. Chevrolet congratulates Dale Earnhardt and the Childress Good Ranch Chevrolet Racing Team on capturing the 1994 NASCAR Drivers' Championship. One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR. That's genuine Chevrolet.
An unparalleled American sports tradition, 25 years running. The New York City Marathon, Sunday, here on ABC Sports.
There's USC's backup quarterback, Brad Otten. He grew up around here. He went to Weber State. When he thought that school might be dropping football, he wanted to transfer here and play. He came to Mike Price. Price obviously wanted him. He's very talented, but then after talking to the rest of the quarterbacks, Price went back to Otten and said, you know, there's a question of ethics. I told my players that I would not go out and seek another quarterback, Brad, so you're going to have to find another school. And USC is awfully happy that he selected Southern California. This kickoff goes out of bounds. And now the Cougars will put it in play on the 35. The point I want to make is that Chad Davis comes out here to quarterback, except for that decision by Price, and saying, I don't want to lie to my players. We could be looking at Brad Otten as the Cougar quarterback in this situation. It's 13-3 right now. Cougars trail it by 10, and Chad Davis will bring Price's offense back on out.
You know, and John Robinson told me in regard to Chad Otten, he's the kind of guy, if this program keeps growing, that can quarterback a national championship football team. They've got a lot of young, fine football players on this roster.
Dick, I specifically watched him warm up today in practice. Let me tell you something. He's got a little snap, and he can throw that ball. Derek Sparks is the running back with Madhu's injury. They now have to go to a backup running back. They're going to throw it down by 10, of course. High and incomplete as Dumas was number 1, and he overthrew him.
Under pressure again. Matt Kennel was in after him. Again, the ball thrown high, but pressure can force you to throw the ball high.
The Cougar offense being stifled by the Trojans' defense in this game. Don Lindsay's scheme so far and his talent has worked well. Sparks ahead for a couple of yards, and Kopp.
Cobb loves for somebody to run right at him. He just loves it too. He's down on the ground, he makes a tackle, he gets up, and he's cheering, getting up just because he got to hit somebody. Love those kind of football players. His dad was a good football player. Played at Arizona State years back. Out of San Ramon High School in Northern California, Danville.
Now, how good is USC's defense today? Washington State is 0 for 10 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 8 against this defense. Make it 0 for 11.
He may not have been able to see that back looking into the sun, because I was down there pregame looking back that way, Brent, and it was bad. It really didn't look like he saw that ball. And this young man has good hands. Here's the ball coming right in the middle of your screen. See, he doesn't see it. He doesn't see the ball. 0 for 11 now, right? 3rd down conversion.
George Martin standing inside the Cougars' 25-yard line.
Oh, lousy punt.
Could take a Washington State bounce, however. They're going to down this one inside the 20-yard line. It'll be downed at the 16-yard line. Southern Cal leading.
That's what it looks like to snap a football.
Some things in life you have to wait for. A car of your dreams shouldn't be one of them. The Chevy Camaro. 2 airbags, fuel-injected V6, anti-lock brakes, $14,750 worth of genuine Chevrolet.
Financial concerns, medical problems, anxiety about the future. 50 million Americans turn for help to one particular company, a company whose sole purpose has always been to bring them to a different state of mind. Peace of mind, security, protection, optimism. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Canada. It's a land like no other, with a beer like no other. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. It's smooth as ice. Molson Ice, from the land where ice was born.
College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. And De Beers. A diamond is forever. The snow scenes from outside of Pullman, Washington here yesterday when the winter's first storm swept through here. 1st and 10. Johnson getting time. Going to go deep. Hunter had coverage. Receiver had slipped. That was Kayshawn Johnson who was down, and it'll be 2nd and 10. And Dick, you pointed out there's been a change in the defensive backfield.
Well, they've taken Brian Walker, the one young cornerback, out, number 6 that's been playing, and put Ray Jackson in there at the corner. And they now are flopping Torrey Hunter toward number 3, Kayshawn Johnson, the big play receiver.
Wouldn't you say now that this Cougar defense has to come up with a
get the takeaway? And SC is the toughest team in the country to take the ball away. They'd only given it away 6 times coming into this ball game.
There is Walters. Picks his way to the 19-yard line, maybe 3 yards, and Mark Fields makes still another stop.
He's a big guy at 225 pounds. Has 2 200-yard rushing games coming into this game this season alone, so he can move the ball upfield. Tough to move it consistently on the ground against these guys.
Now it's 3rd and 7, and let's see if they pick on Jackson and see what he's got over here on this corner. That's going to be close to a 1st down for the Trojans. That was Kenny Grace, and he appeared to have it.
Mike Riley doing a nice job of calling the plays down there on the field and mixing it up. He said he tried to calling the plays from up in the press box a couple times, and Johnson didn't like it, and he really didn't like it right there. He has great composure on the field calling plays, never gets too excited, never too upset, just does his job. Excellent football coach. Both you and I got to know this guy in the World League. San Antonio, what were they, the Rough Riders?
Yeah,
something like that. A lot of fun.
Let me tell you something about that young man. There's going to be a lot of quality jobs opening up. He's one of Bear Bryant's boys.
Yeah.
And that's a young man that some people should consider as a head coach. Riley's an excellent football man. And what's the Sasa doing? Was he pulled over there?
He likes to play, that kid.
You know, hot Sasa on that play, kid. Here I come. Ready or not?
He was just a little early. But he does love to play football.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. Repeat 1st down.
He's out of Long Beach Poly High School, then Long Beach City College. One of 7 children. You're allowed to move early if you've been raised with 7 children, aren't you?
Especially when that guy moves first.
He thought they said, chow's down.
1st and 15 now for the Trojans. They lead at 13-3. 2 touchdowns, blocked extra point. Cougars only with a field goal here today. They show blitz, and Johnson he moves to move Walters over there, and now Cougars back away. There come Delane, and he gets it off into the hands of the receiver, Barnum. Childs was coming, and we sent you to New York and John Saunders. John?
Brent, Miami's finally on the board against Syracuse in the 3rd quarter, 2nd and goal. That's James Stewart fighting his way to the end zone from 3 yards, 7-6. Brent.
Hey, that was an excellent job by Chris Pollock, sliding to his left, coming out of his right guard position, and picking up a blitz. Here, he's right here. The blitz is going to come right up inside here, and he's going to slide over here and pick it up. Not easy to do. Excellent job. See that?
Fumble! Johnson goes on it.
They don't do that very often. You know that they're coming in, they've lost 2 interceptions and 4 fumbles coming into this football game.
Third down.
Yeah.
Trojans need 12 yards. They'll run Walters short of the first down. They have elected to send it back on a punt, and we'll see if the Cougars attempt to block still another punt. John Stonehouse, number 17, trots onto the field.
That was a big defensive series for them, Brent. They're going to end up in pretty good field position right here.
Linderman, the snapper.
High snap.
Here they come. He gets one off, and Dumas is sent back to the 20 and inside. What a beautiful punt. Spins, and he's not getting away. Down at the 19-yard line. Quincy Harrison.
He's a backup cornerback. Boy, I'll tell you, it's tough to make that one-on-one tackle like that once they've got the ball in their hand.
And while we have time here, let me remind everybody that tomorrow night we get an hour of America's Funniest Videos, special guest Kenny Rogers, then a show that really has to be great. Siegfried and Roy. They work regularly at the Mirage in Las Vegas. They're on for an hour. After that, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. That's all tomorrow, right here on ABC. First and 10.
Get up, get up, get up.
Oh, in the middle to the 25-yard line.
Oh, they did a nice job of executing that counter play that time. The guard did an awfully nice job. Ron Lewis of pulling and kicking out, backside tackle. The big guard will pull and he'll kick out. The big tackle will pull and lead through as the tight end seals down. Oh, he turned out rather. Here it goes. Here's the trap block. Here's the tackle on through. Look at that whole well-executed play.
Kevin Hicks now gives him a little bit of a dash in that backfield. They'll keep him in that running back spot. He's also a good receiver. Come right back with him again, and he's stuffed that time by Jeff Kopp, and we'll send you back to John Saunders. The Canes doing a lot of business right now, John.
Well, Brent, James Stewart, we showed him get a touchdown from 3 yards out. Well, here's one from 27 yards, and Syracuse barely gets a hand on him. Miami's defense has not given up a touchdown in conference play. They lead 14-6. Brent.
Yeah, starting to put it on cruise control there, aren't
Mr. Warren Sapp, the defensive tackle, he's a dandy.
Third down and 5 for the Cougars. Remember now, they have not yet converted a third down. Still have it.
Actually, now, Brian Thomas came off and sort of eased up, not thinking the ball was going to come to him, and then turned it on and sprinted. And that's one of the few times now that USC has come in with a nickel defense. Had more defensive backs in there playing pass defense. They've got to be very pleased with their third down defense right now, or the Cougars have to be very upset about their third down offense.
George Martin in again. And there's Mr. Grace from Richmond, California, looking for a chance to give the Trojans a little field position. At the 31, slips the tackle, and but the Trojans know he was down. He was down at the 34-yard line.
Boy, what effort these kids give. Consistent effort on every play.
USC 13, Washington State 3. Oregon delighted about this score.
Every company has an Edwina, the planner, the organizer, the one who tracks your packages. Only today, she's out sick, and you have to track them yourself. Luckily, she uses UPS. Just pop in our tracking software and you'll know when your package was delivered and who signed for it in seconds. Now, if only you could use it to find the bathroom key.
You want to be champions? Then play like champions. You got to be relentless. You got to be clever. You've got speed. Use it.
One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR.
Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing.
Genuine Chevrolet.
I was shocked to learn that most ordinary credit cards charge interest from the moment you buy something, if you carry a balance as little as $1. Thankfully, American Express has introduced a new credit card called the Optima True Grace Card. You get an interest-free grace period on each new purchase, even when you carry a balance. It's a good thing. But don't just throw away your old credit cards. Recycle them. I'm retiling my pool. Apply today and cut your interest charges.
13-3, SC, Rose Bowl. Oregon gets to go with wins in their remaining 3 games, and Washington State must lose or tie. Arizona goes with wins their remaining 3, and they need a combo. They need help. Washington State still has to come back and win this. USC then would need help against Oregon if they win here today and a win out. So nobody in total control. Oregon could wind up in control if USC hangs on here.
Oh, great job of defensive tackle play by Don Sasa. Holy mackerel, did he stuff him.
So Oregon ahead 13-3. USC up by the same count here in Pullman. So everything is coming up Oregon's way right now. This is the combo that they had hoped for today.
USC has lost too many good offensive linemen inside of that guard position, and it's hurting them today. Coming after him.
Got him.
Sasa is eating his lunch. He's really whipping him. He's getting after, again, a young man that hasn't been playing guard, never played guard in a game before. 94, middle of your screen right here. He's working right here on Abrams. He just, good power rush, takes him to the outside, arm under, swim. Here he comes, wham. Quarterback had to hold the ball, but still awfully good power rush there by Don Sasa out of Long Beach Poly High School, Long Beach City College. And they've turned out some dandies over the years.
Might try him on offense as a fullback.
I'll tell you, he comes off the ball, he probably make a fine offensive tackle. There he is again.
They set the screen on 3rd and 16. And the stop is made by John Rushing.
John came into the ball game with a career of 313 tackles, ranked 6th in the history of Washington State. So seeing him make a tackle like that doesn't surprise me. They aren't easy to make those tackles out there. You know, all alone, one-on-one. Good defensive series again.
Well, it's Stonehouse and Dumas. We've played this song a few times. Cougars are going to try to set a return. Great punt again. Dumas at the 10-yard line. Slips the first. Got an alley. Dumas from behind to the 44. Put it down, and the Cougars cover it. Number 20 was able to pounce on that ball when it came up. Old Derek Henderson.
Well, he came into the ball game, the 6th best punt returner in the Pac-10. His long was 25. He just did another one. The punter actually out-punted his coverage. That's a tough tackle right there. But the coverage is late in getting there. They don't come to balance. They give him a crack, and he just attacks it upfield vertically. Nice job by Jay Dumas.
A 54-yard punt, a 33-yard return, but does it matter? The Cougar offense still has to prove against this Trojan defense that they can move it. And they spin one and put it in the hands of the tight end, Eric Moore. Speaking of Oregon, let's go quickly to New York and John Saunders. John?
Well, Brian, you're talking about the Rose Bowl. How about those Ducks? They could get there. Danny O'Neill 15 yards to Kristen McLemore. 20-3, Oregon has the lead over Arizona State. And in the WAC, Utah holding off New Mexico now in the fourth quarter by 1. Back to you.
All right, John, thank you. And here are the Cougars on the move. Ball inside the 40-yard line. And they have brought in Derek Sparks from Santa Ana, California, and he picks up about 3 yards. And Don Cunningham.
On the stop, number 37. They ran both linebackers up inside that time.